So for now, your notes and Shwezar notes would be enough, right? For
More
the
than
reading
enough.
part?
More than enough.
Okay.
And
So,
there will be some aspects where you will find not in Shwezar but in my book. There will be some aspect which will be in my book but not in Shwezar, or vice versa. It will be there. Okay. So that is my view. I feel this is important, so I will keep it. I feel this is not important, so I may not keep it. So every book author will have his or her own way of teaching. So it's not going to be that every word will match with Shwezar. And it's not going to be in Shwezar also that every word of mine will match. Understand one thing, that Kaplan Shwezar is also coaching institute, right? So we in India buy their books from, a copy, we get it at a cheap rate. That's actually an unofficial way. They have their own way of teaching. They have their own notes, which they think are important. Of course, that's very more famous and everyone passes from that. That's a different story. But it's in India. I've seen people not reading Kaplan books when I've dealt with students who are not from India. So they may have their own say. I have my own experience. Most of the things, I think that Kaplan Shwezar covers a lot of things, right? So again, I'll repeat that it's not going to match point to point, my book or Kaplan or any other book and Kaplan. That's not going to happen. But the varieties that the CFA Institute book has, my reference is CFA Institute book. So I've tried covering all the varieties. So yes, you will see minor changes here and there. If I had to match the Shwezar book, trust me, I would not spend my entire last 2 years typing all these notes and doing it from these notes. It would have been very easier for me just to tell you all, I'll do it from the Shwezar notes. Okay. Honestly, we used to do that long back. It was completely effortless for a professor that just you buy the Shwezar notes, I'll do it from that. It was so precise, so easy to teach. But then I realized that, of course, I need to have the institute material into consideration. I need to prepare the notes on my way because I can input my things. I found that Shwezar is good, but I indigenously had to have my opinion and my notes also. So that's the reason why I'm following it, but I've ensured that it doesn't miss anything. So however, I'll repeat again, it's not going to exactly match, but I'm telling you all to do the Shwezar so that you can practice some else questions which are not with me. So it's going to be additional practice, additional information, right? So most of the things will be overlapping. So you can skip that. And whatever you find new there or here, you can keep on adding that to your reference. No problem. In fact, if you see institute book, you'll find more things to add. But then you'll have to make individual decision how much more I need to add or where I need to curtail with respect to your time constraint.
I would like to add a point, like as I'm also reading the Shwezar notes, somehow I like the material is more like, when I'm reading it, it's more dispersed. Like one topic is on the yes.
Right.
If I compare with your notes, it is when I'm going through one topic, it is more easy for me to go through and like understand one topic. But when I'm doing it with Shwezar, like for example, I'll tell you, when I was giving the probability test,
right,
I didn't do your notes. I read Shwezar, but I couldn't give that test. Like my score was not that good because somehow conceptually it wasn't like clear for me.
Correct. So what you are saying, thank you so much for this. I really take this as an appreciation. But what I notice as a student is that when I read a book or when I read a topic, I need to know the flow of it. I need to know the index, that what all things are covered. I saw this missing in Shwezar, honestly. I saw LOS, A, B, C and all. But someone needs to tell me what is the picture about. What am I doing it? What all things I'm going to cover? And then I, as an individual, this is my way of reading, then I would like to go in detail. Oh, this is what I'm going to cover. This is what I'm going to cover. And I need I have that habit of flipping between index and content again and again. So I know, oh, I'm covering this thing, this all to be covered. For example, if you see when we did probabilities, right? So this index tells you, oh, these are the things that we are going to cover, right? So you don't get lost. What am I doing it? Otherwise, you are just reading the Schwezer, and after a while you feel, what am I doing? Where am I? What did I do? What is
Yeah,
the
you're going back through like
you flip the pages
all over.
back.
Yes.
You flip the pages back. What did I cover? What did I not cover?
Yes.
Right? That's what something happened with me when I was as a student. But somehow I just got passed. So I didn't find it, as a problematic part for myself. But when I'm teaching it, it did happen with me that I had to refer students. Do you remember we did that? Do you remember? So my way of teaching is creating an index, which is like a short trailer where you understand that, oh, these are the things we are going to cover. And I've changed the flow. For example, if you see in probability in your books, even in the institute book, I'm sorry to say here, but even the institute book, the base theorem is somewhere after the probabilities in investment. So I have kept the base theorem after total probability because it's easy to do.
Yes.
So if you see in your books, your base theorem is later on. And what used to happen, student used to forget, oh, what is total probability? So it's better you do after total probability, then base theorem is easy to understand. So I've changed the flow. I've changed some things, and that's why. But unfortunately, what happens, I can't openly say that don't do Schwezer, do my book, because then some student would feel that, I'm boasting my book and all. With all due respect, they are one of the best selling. That's one of the best selling materials, and I have myself learned that, and I've passed from that book. But yes, I do feel as a layman, I need some improvisation on the book, on the material generally. So I've added the content here. But since I get students query that, what if I do from Schwezer also? Should I do it from Schwezer also? So I generally tell them that, yes, you can go ahead with Schwezer. No problem with that. And absolutely, you can continue with Schwezer. So I tell students, you want to buy Schwezer, you buy it. But I think gradually, hopefully, in the next 4 or 5 years, I can confidently say that buy my book only, not Schwezer. It's too early to say that, unless and until I prove that with hundreds of students passing with this book. So I'm just trying to be here a bit humble and a bit low on the profile. I am confident on my book, but I just don't want to say it before I get the results. Okay.
Can you skip the...
Sorry?
Can you skip the Schwezer?
Honestly, I would say follow the Schwezer, but this habit of Schwezer is going to be very difficult when you go to level 3. In level 3, you will have to see from CFA Institute books. In level 3, my experience of level 3 was that I found it very difficult because I was dependent on Schwezer notes. Because in Schwezer note, everything is ready-made, right? You just have to read it and you feel, oh, this is what is going to come in exam. In level 3, it is not the case. So what made me pass in level 1 and level 2 actually did not help me pass in level 3. So it's what I realized late. But I have some students saying, oh, at least let us reach level 3, then we'll see. So I tell them it's okay if you want to do Schwezer till you reach level 3, that's fine. So it's both ways. So coming to your question, can you skip Schwezer? Well, for level 2, with this notes, you can skip it, but you can do the exercise from Schwezer. See, there are things which are very good in Schwezer. Let me be honest with you. In the last, there is this, what do they have? The quick concept readings. If you recollect, in 2 lines, they have covered all the concepts. I forgot that. What is that called as? Concept checker or something like that. They have in the last.
Key concepts,
right? That is a very good way to quickly revise. Okay. And of course, Schwezer has very good question banks. So you either follow our question banks or you directly do the Schwezer question banks. Unfortunately, our question banks, not everyone is attempting. So my software is in a way that if you have not attempted, the software will not be able to send you the solution. That's how the software is inbuilt. Only those who give the test, once I press finish, it automatically goes. The PDF solution goes to only those who've given the test. It's nothing that I do. That's how the software is built. So unfortunately, if you've not given the test, you will not get the PDF. It's all inbuilt in the software. There's nothing that I do in it. So it's better if you're not going to give the test, go and look out the Schwezer questions. But if you're going to give my test, if you're going to do with my notes, done, clear. You'll be through it. Don't worry. Okay.
CFA Institute also have good mock questions. Like
CFA Institute end of chapter questions. They are, let me tell you, honestly, they are one of the toughest. I've seen people getting nervous after seeing CFA Institute questions, but they are very tough. CFA level 1 exam is not as tough as CFA Institute end of chapter questions. You just look at the question size that you have in CFA Institute. Honestly, these are not the actual questions that comes in exam. So they're very complicated. But then by doing that, I have come across students who have become depressed, saying that, oh, I don't know anything from that. But those are not the type of questions that will come in exam. In exam, in level 1, you'll have small questions, not those big case studies. That's not the case in level 1. That's going to happen in level 2 or level 3. So, by having a very, I should say, by having a very heavy heart, I had to say that students that don't do CFA Institute end of chapter questions, they are very good, but they are very complicated and lengthy. These are not the type of questions that you will get in exams. In exams, yes, the type of questions that you get are very similar to what you have in the Schwezer book. That's where the Kaplan-Schwezer book is better in terms of Q&A. So when it comes to question banks, my personal opinion, Kaplan-Schwezer question banks are better. And the test that I'm giving you is similar to that. Those questions are similar to what you may find in exams. Right? That's what it is. But if you do any additional source, any complicated source, it's all good. The only thing is that you should be able to finish these things. Okay. Come last month of the batch, you are definitely going to ask me, sir, will I be able to finish all this thing? So your doubts will change. Right now, you are excited and you are saying, should I read this? Should I read this? Should I read this? Then your doubts will change to, sir, can I skip this? Can I skip this? Can I skip this? Okay. So I understand this excitement now of doing Q banks, multiple Q banks, multiple notes. Come later on, you will say, sir, what else I can skip? This is what happens. So from day one only, it's better to be precise and narrow. Okay.
So we can skip Schwezer.
Of course you can. You can skip Schwezer and see, you have that as a reference book. You can keep that as a reference book. There are few topics where I will tell you all that you can look at Schwezer also for shorter things. For example, in portfolio, there is a topic called technical analysis. Now that you can easily do from Schwezer. That's not very complicated. Fintech is a topic which you can do from Schwezer. That's very easy. Even my content and Schwezer content is almost similar there. So in many cases, the content is similar. So I'm going to cover it up. But if you feel that I've done it too lengthy and you want to check Schwezer, no harm in that. Absolutely no harm. So the conclusion, yes, you can rely on our notes for level 1, for sure.
Perfect.
Okay. But for QBank, it's better you go there. I have the QBanks, which is going to come in the test. But additional QBanks, you want to practice, you can go there. Okay.
Okay.
Any more questions? Anything, guys?